This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan, Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. Pennsylvania is cashing in on some illegal drug money.
It's $1 million, and it comes from what was seized by the FBI in a major drug bust centered in our area. State Attorney General Leroy Zimmerman went to Washington today. Officials there gave him Pennsylvania's share of about $7 million seized after 12 people, including Rick Ligis of Lackawanna County, were arrested for smuggling into the U.S. over 7 tons of cocaine. The money represents the state's costs in helping to break up the cocaine ring that in part operated out of the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton airport. Zimmerman says that he has plans to create a first-in-the-nation mini-grant program with that money to support grassroots anti-drug citizen organizations.
Newswatch 16's Mark Davis is live now at the airport where Ligis operated illegally. Mark, are there any area organizations that may benefit from this money?
Yes, Karen, there are area groups which are already awaiting the word on just how this money is going to be distributed. In fact, this afternoon I talked with the president of a group called Parents and Kids, a group that fights drugs. And he told me that it's really nice that something negative, which was run out of right here, is now being turned into something positive. Area businessman Rick Ligis admitted smuggling tons of cocaine worth millions of dollars into the United States through his air charter business. Now the money, some of it found in various vacation homes in the Poconos, will be used to fight drugs. Dr. Charles Johannes heads a Luzerne County group called Parents and Kids. He can't wait to apply for some of that money.
The fact that we could go to one place and get a relatively large amount of money instead of going to many different clubs and organizations and getting nickels and dimes, it'll save our energies and also allow us to do better quality programming.
Parents and Kids is a behind-the-scenes effort to fight drugs in the Back Mountain section of Luzerne County.
I think that's poetic justice in a way because, you know, we have so many problems in our culture, and if we can take some of those negatives and turn them into positives, then we can resolve some of the problems.
Now, I talked with some drug experts this afternoon. They also like the idea of this mini-grant program, but they only have one caution. They said they'd like to see the money go to parents groups and citizen groups which are doing different things. That way, drug programs already in place won't be overlapped. I'm Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, reporting live with the Instacam at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport in Avoca.
Thank you, Mark. A company that was supposed to be a savior for the financially troubled town of Renova has ended up causing new money problems for its workers. It was more than 3 years ago when Renova celebrated with a parade the news that United ChemCon was going to set up shop, starting small but putting more and more people to work. At that time, borough officials say Renova's unemployment rate was 70%. So you can imagine what the new jobs meant to people in the Clinton County community. Well, things were running smoothly at the plant that makes equipment for the Postal Service and Defense Department. That is, until just before Christmas, when the plant shut down and 300 workers were laid off. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci spent the day in Renova and tells us about a frustrating holiday for ChemCon workers.
The checks aren't being cashed. The banks aren't accepting them.
You're looking at men who were issued paychecks that bounced. The men work for United ChemCon, the biggest employer in Renovo.
It's a bad situation, I tell you. We're hurting. We all got families.
On December 19th, the Friday before Christmas, United ChemCon closed its doors and laid off its workers. The workers say they were told only that the layoff was for the holidays and it would last 2 weeks. It's now been 2.5 weeks and the plant's doors are still closed. Company officials declined to speak on camera, but they say the plant will reopen Monday and that without question the bounced check problem would be solved as early as today. And indeed, it apparently was solved. Just 2 hours ago, a worker told us he was able to cash his paycheck. Now everyone hopes the plant will reopen as promised next week.
To resolve it today. I need a job. We all do.
Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, Renovo.
The Conrail train tracks are open again tonight in Callicoon, New York, but the search for the cause of a train derailment near Wayne County is still under investigation. Early this morning, work crews finished repairs to the tracks. Skycam 16 was overhead today. The rails were damaged over the weekend when a train went off the track. One of the cars began leaking a hazardous chemical, forcing a few families from their homes at the Pennsylvania-New York state border. 18 of the cars are off to the side of the tracks tonight and will be moved sometime next week.
Newswatch 16 continues with budgets and money. We'll tell you how Scranton plans to bring in thousands of dollars.
Plus the impact of the president's new budget on medical care at the VA hospital in Wilkes-Barre.
At J.L. Feisner Ford, Lincoln Mercury, Route 11, Berwick, we'd like to put our best foot forward. That's why we're here to tell you about the great low prices on Ford, Lincoln Mercury cars and trucks. Sure, good service and low financing are nice, but more than anything, we think people like our great low prices. Compare other dealer prices with ours. You'll come back to J.L. Feisner Ford, Lincoln Mercury, Route 11, Berwick. We appreciate it.
What's this for?
Dinner.
We're eating napkins?
We're eating crispy chicken.
I could eat a horse.
This was easier.
Ah, it's crispy chicken.
From Shake and Bake. Please use your napkins. It's juicy. Your lucky the law says I have to feed you until you're 18.
It is juicy. I could use another leg.
Shake and bake coating mixture.
I think you better look for another brain.
Chicken that's crispy outside, juicy inside.
Scranton's version of a free lunch comes to an end in March when parking meters make a comeback.
There will be no more free downtown parking. Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds is live now in Central City. Bob, why the change?
Well, Nolan and Karen, basically for two reasons. First of all, city officials say that the free parking idea isn't working out right in the first place. And second, the meters will bring in about $300,000 of badly needed money into the city coffers. There's no doubt that parking space in Central City is at times tough to come by. Almost as one car pulls out, another driver is ready to pull in. The city started free parking nearly 4 years ago to attract more shoppers to Central City.
I'm not a frequent visitor here to Scranton, but I think any city that eliminates free parking is doing itself a disservice because it destroys the downtown shopping, and that's why cities are in trouble.
I have to watch my time. It's like if I'm over 2 hours, it's like I got a ticket, you know, and it's, you know, with the meters in, at least it gives you 3 hours.
City officials say the free parking idea isn't working out anyway because there are some people who work in Central City who are using the free parking spots and taking the spots away from shoppers.
The other thing, too, is we just need the revenue. The city needs the revenue, and this is one way to bring it in. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of the merchant in the downtown. But we all have to pull in our belt a little more, and this is one way of doing it.
There are some businessmen who don't see the end of free parking as the end of downtown.
If we had a choice, I think we'd rather stay with the 2 hours of free parking. But I think if they have to go back to the meter system, they probably will because the city needs the income.
Now, city officials tell me that when the meters are installed here once again, it'll cost about 50 cents an hour to park in downtown Scranton. And they also tell me that that's about 25 cents lower than the national average. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16 with a live Instacam report in Scranton. Nolan?
Thank you, Bob. Congress is back in business tonight on Capitol Hill in Washington, and the Democrats are in control. Both the House and the Senate of the 100th Congress convened shortly after noon today. The vice president swore in 13 new senators and 21 re-elected members. The Democrats also took control in the House with Jim Wright of Texas taking over for retired Speaker Tip O'Neill. One of the big items with which they all will have to deal is President Reagan's new $1 trillion budget.
That budget could affect medical care at veterans hospitals all across the country. Newswatch 16's Melissa Sander went to the Veterans Medical Center in Luzerne County to find out what kind of cuts they expect.
The VA medical system stands to gain $400 million if President Reagan's 1988 budget wins the approval of Congress. But it could also mean cutting back the number of employees and fewer people receiving in- and outpatient care.
And all the Vietnam veterans, we're getting shafted all over. They're cutting us on disability. They're cutting us on everything.
It's the kind of threat vets have heard before, and it's not one they take well.
If he cuts anything on the Veterans Administration, veterans benefits, he's being a traitor to the American veteran. After all, we give everything we had to help our country out. They should reciprocate.
But the director of this medical center isn't so worried.
Let's say there were cuts. It doesn't mean that everybody would get the cuts across the board the same way. If you're productive, you may not get any cuts at all.
Besides not knowing which of the 172 VA hospitals nationwide could be affected, there aren't any specifics about what aspect of the medical system will feel the impact.
Normally they give us a lot of options. So long as they do not say that you could only use this for people, only this amount of money and you can't use it for anything else, or vice versa.
The center's director suggests that the veterans in the 19-county area it serves sit back until Congress shows better sign of just what action it will take on the president's budget proposal. The director also says that past cuts in the VA system have yet to hurt this hospital. Melissa Sander, Newswatch 16, Luzerne County.
Our state lawmakers are also forced to face some federal cuts in this coming year. Newswatch 16's Valerie Devine was in Harrisburg today as a new session of the legislature got underway.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm?
3 new state senators, 14 new representatives, a new year and a new term of office with some of the same old problems from 1986, like what to do with the State Liquor Control Board. State Representative Coriel Stevens says he would like to see our liquor stores stay open with some changes.
In our area, I would like to see that the liquor licensees and beer distributors are aware of a comprehensive plan so that their businesses aren't disrupted. And most importantly, on enforcement powers, I would like to see the enforcement powers of what used to be the Liquor Control Board perhaps go into the Attorney General's office so that we can cut down on underage drinking.
Besides the future of the LCB, there are other problems legislators hope to tackle. It was just a few months ago when President Reagan phased out federal revenue-sharing money, leaving many municipalities high and dry. Representative Scott Diederich of Kingston says in his first term of office, he'd like to see something done to bring more money back into our communities.
I'd like to see perhaps a combination of some state revenue sharing to help out the towns that really need the help. But I'd also like to see the towns be more flexible in how they raise their taxes, especially the earned income tax, and also the school districts should be allowed to raise their earned income tax so that the ultimate beneficiary would be the townspeople and the school children.
The legislators sworn in here at the Capitol today won't begin working on any key issues until later on this month. That's because Pennsylvania's newest governor, Bob Casey of Scranton, won't take office until January 20th. It'll be the first time in 8 years that the legislators will have to work with a Democratic governor. Valerie Devine, Newswatch 16, Harrisburg. The Weather Watch is next with Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark.
Tom, what's in store for us? Sounds good.
Yeah, not much, really. Just a shift in wind tomorrow, but some warmer air is trying to move in tonight, and we'll talk about what we're going to get tomorrow. And we'll talk about that polluted air trapped in the valleys today. You're watching Newswatch 16 on WNEP TV. We're proud to serve Hughesville and all of Lycoming County.
Drop everything. Race to Rackeson's $1 million emergency inventory liquidation. Every suit, every sport coat, everything sacrificed for quick sale. Famous brand suits, values to $225, must be sold from $79. Sports coats, values to $145, must be sold from $39. Slacks, shirts, ties, everything goes to the bare walls. Most below wholesale. Rackeson's must raise cash fast. Banks and creditors must be paid immediately. Pennsylvania's biggest menswear liquidation at Rackeson's in Scranton and Kingston.
Well, it seems most of the roads are clear, so I guess that snow is starting to disappear, right, Tom?
It's slowly melting, Karen, for sure. Temperatures just above the freezing mark again today. It's kind of a soft, packed snow out back tonight. You can just begin to make snowballs out of it, and I guess we're down to about 5 inches now. We lost another inch from what it was last night. Cloudy skies overhead, a very calm wind out back tonight. It doesn't feel too bad. Let's check in with my weather watcher up there in Bradford County. Joyce Stevens in Camptown, 28 degrees at her place, and cloudy skies now. Kimberly Bierman in Lehighton, want you to know it's 29 down there tonight, and cloudy skies. And in Northumberland, Sam Wolf has 28 degrees and cloudy there as well. A view from Skycam 16 today over a frozen Lake Wallenpaupack. That is the largest man-made lake in Pennsylvania. 32 degrees out back, humidity is 60%. The wind south at 4 now, and the barometer is falling from 30.02. 34 and 12, the range here today, a very cold start. 8 below zero, the record low for the date is still intact, and 19 or 17 degrees with a little bit of snow 1 year ago. Driving down the mountain today, I noticed a yellowish inversion haze trapped in the Wyoming Valley. Some of you may have seen it as well. And an inversion is when you have an increase in temperature with height. And that happens after some cold, dense air gets trapped into the valleys after a clear, calm night. like we had last night. That air just sits there. With the light winds we had today, no ventilation. And so some of the car exhaust was being trapped in that dense air, and I suspect it'll begin to dissipate tonight and tomorrow as the winds pick up. But no hazard to your health, okay? Here's the satellite view. The wind's picking up because we have a storm system that dumped 42 inches of fresh snow in the Wasatch Mountains of northern Utah the past couple of days. The storm center now up over the Great Lakes. It'll continue on a northeasterly track, staying well to our west and north. And the only effect it has on our weather is to bring the wind now out of the south, so warmer air is trying to come in, and that's why we had the clouds today, and they're going to persist tonight. This cold front is all I expect to come through tomorrow, and that will bring some snow flurries as some colder air comes in behind it tomorrow night. But that's about it. No big storms affecting us for the next few days, with that one moving safely away into Canada. So for tonight, temperatures, hardly any drop at all. Temperatures, for the most part, steady in many places as we hold on to that south wind. The clouds will persist, but I don't expect any rain or snow overnight. About 28 in Stroudsburg. Elevation of Stroudsburg about 400 feet above sea level. Black Walnut, that is in Wyoming County. Your low tonight, 27, about where it is now. Hughesville, 28. Ashland, 29. The wind from the south, 5 to 15, picking up just a bit as we go. And the sun will be coming up tomorrow morning at 7:29, and it sets at 4:51. Cloudy tonight, cloudy tomorrow, then the cold front comes through by about midday, and some snow flurries and a gusty northwest wind late tomorrow and tomorrow night, up close to 40 tomorrow, about 38 degrees, and then for Thursday, sunny to partly cloudy, and the same for Friday, temperatures in the 30s. And I'm a little concerned about maybe a storm may clip us from the south over the weekend. It's a long shot call at this point, maybe some snow, but we'll look at that again tonight. So, that's it. We'll see you later.
Okay, we'll keep watching that then tonight at 11.
Yes.
Thanks, Tom. Tim Carlson is next with the Sports Watch and the latest high school wrestling Super 16 rankings.
Plus, the first of a three-part series on some former area high school players who are making good in college ball.
Welcome to the enchanting world of the woodlands, where you find a delightful surprise around every corner. Imagine capturing this magical world and its charming creatures in fine porcelain. Everyone handcrafted and hand-painted to express its personality.
The Franklin Mint presents Woodland Surprises, created by renowned nature artist Jacqueline Smith. Each work of art carved in exacting detail. The delicate curve of a cabbage leaf, the thoughtful look of the owl. And you can remove each animal from its natural habitat to examine and enjoy up close.
They really come to life in the details. Every time you look, you'll find something new and unexpected.
To bring the Franklin Mint's collection into your home, call 1-800-524-7000. Use your credit card to save COD charges. You'll receive 12 Woodland Surprises for only $19.50 each. A remarkable price for porcelain of this quality. And if you subscribe now, we'll send you this elegant display stand at no extra charge. You'll get a new Woodland Surprise every month for a year. And each imported piece carries the Franklin Mint's return assurance.
Discover the wonderful world of the Franklin Mint Woodland Surprises.
Call 1-800-524-7000. Subscribe today.
And now we welcome back our main man in the Newswatch 16 Sports Department.
You did a nice job, Tim. Real nice job.
Thanks a lot. We had a great time out there. And, of course, I want to thank all the guys that went with us. Carl Abraham, our field producers, Steve Smallwood, Mike Stevens, and, of course, the sports photographer, Dave Bertram.
Yeah,
great
job by everybody.
It was great. Came back to great news, too, just out a few minutes ago. The first NCAA men's and women's Division Top 20 college rankings, Division III rankings of the year, and good news for University of Scranton basketball fans. The Lady Royals, winners of their first 10 games, are number 1. And the men are ranked at number 20. Our congratulations to them. Let's hope they can hold that up the rest of the season. More college basketball talk coming up in just a minute. But in the past few days, the high school wrestling season getting out of exhibitions into the meets that really count. With that, some major reshuffling in the latest Super 16 rankings. Let's check them out. At number 16, the Hazleton Mountaineers, a new entry. Another new entry, the Jersey Shore Bulldogs at number 15. At number 14, the Benton Tigers up from 16. At number 13, the East Stroudsburg Cavs. They were 13 last week. At number 12, the Nazareth Eagles up from 12th spot. At number 11, the Danville Ironmen. They stay at 11. At number 10, and remaining at 10, the Northeast Bradford Panthers. At number 9, the Central Columbia Blue Jays. They're down from number 3. At number 8, the Liberty Hurricanes up from 9th. At number 7, the Abington Heights Comets with a slide up from 8. At number 6, the Shikellamy Braves. They were last week's number 1. They're down after a loss. At number 5, the Bald Eagle Nittany Panthers up from 7th. At number 4, the Eastern Rovers up from number 6. At number 3, the Towanda Black Knights up from 5th. At number 2, the Myers Mohawks up from number 4. And at number 1, the North Schuylkill Spartans. They are undefeated in 5 meets. They are up from 2nd place last week. Well, with the college football season wrapped up, it's time to get into some heavy basketball talk about college. And I can't think of a better way to do that than to check out some former area high school hoops players who've moved on to do well in the college game. The next 3 days here on the 6 o'clock Sports Watch, we'll be taking a look at 3 kids in our series, Homegrown Hoops Heroes. They are Dave Popson, formerly of Bishop O'Reilly High School in Kingston and senior at North Carolina. Larry Kortz, who came out of Wilkes-Barre GAR and now playing for LaSalle and Philly. And another LaSalle standout, Rich Tarr, who played his high school ball at Shamokin area. All 3 played in the LaSalle, North Carolina game this past Saturday at the Palestra in Philadelphia. And Sports Watch 16's Tom Tidy caught up with all 3, and today brings us up to date on the college career of Shamokin's Rich Tarr.
Rich Tarr, LaSalle Explorers, Shamokin Area High School class of 1983. For former Shamokin Area standout Rich Tarr, dishing out assists to his LaSalle teammates is nothing new.
He's taken over as our point guard, and for minutes played, he's done the best job in the Big 5 or MAC conference as far as fewest turnovers. I think that's a credit and very commendable because he's never played point guard, and he's done a real fine job for us.
But the adjustment from high school, where he led the state in scoring as a senior, to college basketball wasn't easy.
I think when I first got here, I was a little surprised at how talented some of the guys, we had 3 guys who were drafted, like my first year down here, and I was a little surprised at how talented they were. But I think I put it into perspective. This year has done wonders for my confidence so far. I still don't shoot the ball as much as I'd like to, but I'm playing point guard, and I'm kind of relied on to lead the team, so I may have to give up some things to start, but I'm willing to do that. He's got a great attitude. He works extremely hard, and he just wants to get better all the time. And he sacrificed himself as a scorer to be the point guard, and he does, as I say, he's done a real fine job in that capacity.
This is the first season that Rich Tarr has started at point guard for the Explorers, but already he leads the team in assists, proving that he can play basketball with some of the best. Tom Tidy, Sports Watch 16 at the Palestra in Philadelphia.
Tomorrow, Tom Tidy has a story on Rich Tarr's LaSalle teammate, Larry Kortz from GAR High School in Wilkes-Barre. A couple of quick things about the new college football national champions. The folks at Penn State are planning a big parade and rally January 17th to honor Jopa and the team. That'll be at State College starting at 11 a.m. on the 17th. And speaking of Jopa, he's being considered as a possible candidate to replace Walter Byers as the NCAA's executive director. Byers has held the job since it was created in 1951, but will retire next year. Paterno says he's flattered about the interest, but maybe they want somebody from a different background, as Jopa would say, like that.
Other worlds to conquer for Jopa.
I don't think he's going to take the job. He likes
you have the inside story.
Yeah.
You just spent a week down there.
Oh, yeah, he's my man.
See you later. Thanks, Tim. When Newswatch 16 continues, we'll celebrate Christmas.
Tonight is an important night for Orthodox Christians, and we'll share it with you next.
We think you deserve the freshness, quality, and variety of table fresh fruits and vegetables. They're garden fresh every day. Think IGA today.
Bruning Paints. Color your world with quality. No matter where you live or what kind of home you live in, bring out the best. Bruning for beauty that remains to be seen from the moment it's applied and for years after. Color every corner of your world and every kind of surface with a name known for quality for over 60 years. Bruning Paints. Our best is on sale now, so you can color your world and save.
Take advantage of our winter specials at National Paint and Supply Company, Wyoming Avenue, Wyoming, North Main Avenue, Scranton.
Why you bother me, boy? Are you crazy?
I'm a chicken hook and you're a chicken. Are you coming quietly or do I have to mush you up?
You're going at it all wrong, son. You gotta go to Kentucky Fried Chicken if you want to catch America's favorite chicken. It's a great place to get a great meal. No one makes tender, juicy chicken like the Colonel. It's finger-licking good. Here, son, let me give you a lift. We do chicken right.
Finally tonight, we wish a blessed Christmas to those Orthodox Christians who celebrate Christmas Eve tonight and the birth of Christ tomorrow. For those who do, those following the Julian calendar rather than the more popular Gregorian calendar, this night features a Vesper service where the bread and the wine is blessed for Christmas Day services.
And Merry Christmas. And that is Newswatch 16 for this Tuesday.
Be sure to join us tonight on the update when we'll be telling you why the city of Scranton is hoping to become 50 new, and welcome 50 new families to the city.
World News Tonight is next.
For the team, thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your evening.